luck, Jamie.
Thank you.
There's Jamie Coward off at number 15, and quite right, Palmy, as he says, a little bit of traffic just to get through. It's getting a bit noisy in there, and you're talking to Ian Locker.
I've got Ian Locker, and yes, it is getting very noisy. These twins really are noisy. Ian, still at it, mate. I thought we retired on the same day 6 years ago, and you're still here, but still going well.
I have retired. I'm just having a wobble around. Yeah, no, it's... I couldn't refuse these getting out on the pattern. You know, it's a lovely bike to ride, and it's not too bonkers a ride compared to the super bikes and things. So an old man like me, it's okay. And got the electric bike race later on as well. So yeah, no, just go out and enjoy it. You know, nice and sunny out there. So dark visor on, and let's go.
Thanks very much, Ian. Have a good ride, mate.
Going to be an interesting race, this, Chris, isn't it? Did you hear what I said about Jamie Coward with the traffic?
I didn't, mate. This is mentally
it's
noisy.
like the classics, it is, isn't it?
It is,
the Festival of Motorcycling.
Yeah.
Jamie Coward is saying that he's got a lot of traffic to get ahead of him. Let's just look at the leaderboard there. So who's quicker than him in front? Well, we've got Peter Hickman, he's got Paul Jordan, he's got Horst Seigers right in front of him, he's got Ian Locker, it's got Michael Sweeney. Michael gets his finger out and gets that bike set up right. It could be one to look for. So he's got a fair bit of traffic to get through. Because if he gets held up, like you said, you've got to be careful around here getting past, haven't you?
Yeah, you do, but you know, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you can just get through them, you know. If you're
lucky.
Yeah, you can, you know. It just depends where you catch somebody, and fingers crossed it can get through, because he's got the potential for a win, hasn't he?
He certainly has. And don't forget as well, if he's on the superbike and stuff, he can maybe draft past somebody on the straight. With these, if he gets held up, let's say, for example, going into Glen Helen 1 and Glen Helen 2, all the way up towards Sarah's Cottage, then into Lamfell, he's going to be screwed for that lap, for that main straight, isn't he? He needs to, you know, just bide his time.
He is, that's a fact, but he's already proved he's got a fast bike, you know, at the Northwest 200 as well, you know what I mean? So, yeah, he should have the potential to get past people, I'm sure.
He certainly will. Horst Seiger, well, just next to another one of these patterns. We're going to see if we can go round, and it's probably being a little bit too loud. Yeah, but it is actually. And, John Barton has been a guest on many of the shows. I know John from the start of the race. We'll just leave him be. I think we'll just leave him be. You see that man there, James Short, John Barton, right? Riders Liaison Officer at the TT. Been doing the TT since it started, and he is as sick as a dog sat there now before a TT race. James Chalk, how do you feel?
Don't feel too bad. I have a few laps under my belt today. I had 2 good races, so just looking forward to a good evening ahead now and see what happens out here on the light wet.
How are you finding it, the step up from the Manx Grand Prix to here? I talked to Matt Stevenson, and hope he gets well soon after his little tumble today. Are you thinking it's bringing you on a little bit?
Yeah, definitely it's bringing you on a good bit. You're riding with a lot higher calibre of riders, but obviously practice really didn't go our favour, did it? So we're kind of taking off. We don't have a whole pile of practice, you just have to make the most of it and see where it takes us.
Good luck, James.
Thank you very much, Chris.
James Short there. Chris Palmer is with John O'Perry.
I am number 25 on his black, blue and white Super Twin here. How's it going, my friend?
Yeah, all right, yeah. Obviously everyone's the same. We're not had much practice this year with the weather and stuff, but looking forward to getting out on the Super Twin now.
And at Glen Helen it was 3.2, so Dunlop is definitely on the charge. 23 comes through us here at Glen Helen, that's Barry Ferber, and still awaiting the arrival of number 15, Jamie at the top end. Masayuki Yamanaka through here at Glen Helen, and we're still waiting for Jamie Coward up the lap. 35 comes through here at Glen Helen, Maria Costello, she's safely through on her opening lap. Paul Jordan now through at Ballaft Bridge, as is Jamie Coward, and Michael Dunlop at Ballaft Bridge now leads Jamie Coward by 2.5 seconds. Absolutely nothing in it. It's come down by 0.2, but that's nothing in the distance between Glen Helen and Ballaft. So the lead remaining constant. Number 6, Michael Dunlop leads number 15, Jamie Coward at Ballaft Bridge by 2.5 seconds. Third place is Gary Johnson, number 7. He's 3 seconds behind Jamie Coward. And that gap has increased a little bit. It was just 0.6 of a second here at Glen Helen, and those leading two seem to be just easing away from the rest of the pack. So Belaf Bridge on lap 1 of this 2-lap race. It's number 6, Michael Dunlop, leads number 15, Jamie Coward, by 2.5 seconds. And making up your podium places, number 7, Gary Johnson, who's 3 seconds back. Back to you, the grandstand.
Yeah, noticeable there that Lee Johnston, number 9, has moved up from 6th at Glen Helen to be in 4th position now at Belaf Bridge. But Jamie Coward has just nibbled into Michael Dunlop's lead, because 2.4 seconds at Belaf. It was 2.6, nearly 2.7 out there at Glen Helen. Looking at the fastest through the Sulby Speed Trap, 159.4 for Michaul Dunlop. Benetti at number 4 at 158.6. Jamie Coward, the first of the non-patents, at 157.5. Paul Jordan is in 7th position at Belaf Bridge, going really well, and it's reported that John McGuinness has retired at Belaf. Reported, not got confirmation, reported John McGuinness has retired at Belaf. But it's Michael Dunlop who has a still narrow lead. Number 6, the winner last year, against the man who was fastest in qualifying, number 15, Jamie Coward. The advantage nearly 2.5 seconds. Let's go to Ramsey Hairpin. Roy Moore.
Yeah, we've got a slight problem on the timing here, Tim, so feel free to break in, but we'll get the riders through. We've just been keeping check on the battle at Michael Dunlop and Jamie Coward, and there's certainly something small and noisy coming towards us here now. 1, 2, 3. It's number 2 who's first in, but Michael Dunlop is behind him. Davey Todd, Michael Dunlop, and then it's number 4. After that, Stefano Benetti. So we've got no indication of what's happening, so just feel free, once the times are posted up there or somewhere, just drop in, and then we'll let you have them the sounds. Number 7 is next here. Back end steps out a bit on that. Number 7, Gary Johnson safely through. Misses a gear, mind you. Everybody will have heard that through the effects microphone. Another sweeping out and down through the box. It's Michael Rutter, and he really does hang the back out of the pattern there. And he's through and away. And then it is number 9, the next one through. Number 9, that's Michael Rutter. After that was Lee Johnston. So he's away and chasing him up towards the waterworks. So Michael Dunlop safely through. Jamie Coward running at that higher number. Number 15, not as yet with us, but there's a very, very fast approach here. Who else could it be? Sweeping out of Stella Maris, but Peter Hickman. He's certainly given it a chance. Anyway, that's one thing about it. And he's safely through. Ramsey Hairpin as well. Next machine interview now. Down through the box again. The boys seem to be getting the back end stood out. That's Paul Jordan safely through. Not quite sure what number he was operating at, but certainly it was Paul Jordan. There's number just on the side. Difficult to spot. And then there's number 11. Well, no doubting Ian Lockett going through Ramsey Hairpin.
Well, I can tell you, Roy, that the bike you were having trouble spotting would have been number 15, Jamie Coward. I can tell you that number 6, Michael Dunlop, has an extended advantage of 4 seconds now over number 15, Jamie Coward. Third is number 7, Gary Johnson, and Johnson in turn is 5.8 seconds behind Coward, but he's only 0.158 of a second ahead of number 9, Lee Johnston. A further 1.8 back is number 4, Stefano Benetti. Then Michael Rutter is in 6th, number 8. He's 1.9 seconds down on Benetti. And then he is only 0.8 ahead of, in 7th place, number 12, Paul Jordan. Peter Hickman is recorded as being in 8th place, but he is 5 seconds at the margin back on Jordan. So it's Dunlop by 4 seconds ahead of Jamie Coward, who is nearly 6 seconds ahead of number 7, Gary Johnson. Back to you, Roy.
Yeah, the last to go through there was John Barton. Certainly John Barton, the number 17, we spotted that, but the numbers are difficult to get a hold of. I must admit that looks like number 20. Certainly that is the case. That's Dominic Herbertson safely through Ramsey Hairpin and heading up now towards the waterworks. So that was the thing. We got the paper timing coming in, and certainly Tim O'Hanlon was on the ball with the difference between Dunlop and Coward here at Ramsey Hairpin as being 4 seconds, which you did say. Another machine now, 22, I think that is. Certainly there's nothing on the side of it. If you don't pick it up on the front, well then there's not much hope for you. Rob Hodgson, I think that was going through. Another machine comes through, the 650s. Again, the boys getting them anchored up pretty handy there. Absolutely no chance of finding out what number that was. Went through, but he's safely through. And my apologies, I think it was, you see, Jonathan Perry. It certainly was the case. Jonathan Perry safely through Ramsey Hairpin. Checking out there now, so we've got to go back to our normal position of standing up. I think that is number 27. Yeah, good number on the side of that. 27, Darren Cooper safely through Ramsey. 1, 2 together. Come into the blazing sunshine. 34, I think that was. No numbers on the side of that one. 34, and number 34 there was Sean Anderson safely through. And who was that, Tim? 29, number 29 going through there. Number 29 there, that being Jim Hodson. Last machine to go through, I think, is number 40. 40, Rob Whittle, safely through Ramsey. He'll be streaming past the bungalow and soon be down at Cronknamona. Tim?
Yeah, we're looking up at Bungalow, and Michael Dunlop is there, and he is 6 point... time on Lee Johnston. Lee Johnston is ahead of Stefano Bonetti by 3.9 seconds. Gary Johnson, number 7, has dropped down to 4th. We still wait. Jamie Coward is 0.262 of a second behind Michael Dunlop. And Chris Boyd, for some reason, Dunlop lost time between Ramsey Hairpin and...
0.7, so it's 3.7 seconds of his lead that have disappeared in just one climb of the mountain for Michael Dunlop, and that, as we say, means that the race lead reduces to just 0.2 of a second at the bungalow on lap 1. It was Lee Johnston, whose times we're also watching. His sector time for that was a 3:34. Concertina, well, coming together, shall we say. The gaps are getting closer amongst first, second and third. This could be a thriller.
Yeah, and Gary Johnson, who was 3rd at the Ramsey Hairpin, is now in 5th place. Stefano Bonetti, who was 5th, has moved up to 4th, and Lee Johnston has moved up from 4th to 3rd. Also at the bungalow, in fact, the lights are on at Cronknamona, come on almost together for number 6, Michael Dunlop, and number 4, Stefano Bonetti. To be at Cronknamona, 10.4 is 9th at the bungalow. Davey Todd is Paul also Jordan now 6th at the bungalow. Michael Rutter, bike number 8, is 7th, and in 8th place is number 10, Peter Hickman. And then it's Davey Todd, and Dominic Herbertson, number 20, is in 10th place at the bungalow. Michael Dunlop is at Cronknamona, and he is 6.6 seconds ahead of Lee Johnson, so he's gained about half a second coming down the mountain, Chris Boyd, which is quite interesting in itself.
Yep, the pace is back on for Michael Dunlop, so maybe it was traffic on the climb of the mountain, and we still wait for Jamie Coward to slot in, but yeah, Dunlop is at the moment the fastest man on the run from Bungalow to Cronknamona.
Here he is, across the line. Across the line he goes, and let's just have a look at the speed there. 120.566 miles per hour for Michael Dunlop, and for Stefano Bonetti 119.4, but I can hear the pit klaxon sounding, and a machine is approaching. Let's just briefly pop down to Chris Kinley.
Looks to me like one of the Nortons that's coming in, and it's number 2, it's Davey Todd. Yeah, unfortunately, Davey Todd into the pits off the Superlight Norton, pulls it in to the top of the pit lane, which is just by where the firemen have, and they've just all got off their seats, got their yellow hats and come out, and it looks like we could have the second retirement of the Norton. It looks like he's just fiddling around there on the machine, just talking to them. Possibility, I don't know, Tim. Jamie Coward just
Jamie Coward is leading at Cronknamona. Jamie Coward leads at Cronknamona by 0.9 of a second, and we should be seeing Peter Hickman and Jordan come through very shortly, but that's the news. A new race leader at Cronknamona, it is Jamie Coward, as across the line there goes Peter Hickman on the Norton at 117.774. We should have Paul Jordan through. There he is. And this is Coward. Coward across. Coward leads. Coward, number 15 on the Kawasaki, has a 0.748 second advantage over number 6, Michael Dunlop, and he is 7.2 seconds ahead of number 9, Lee Johnston. Stefano Benetti a further 3.7 seconds back in 4th on the pattern, so it's retirement.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes, Tim got off the bike. The bike's being wheeled down there now. Yeah, so Davey just looking like suspension on the front. He's just waggling his arms about in that time-honoured manner. But Davey Todd, number 2, a retirement.
Thank you, Chris. So Ian Locker is through there, and also through at that point was Horst Seiger on the pattern. So 120.646 miles per hour for Jamie Coward. That's 18 minutes 45.839 seconds. A 0.748 second advantage in this 2-lap affair. 2 laps it is for the Bennett's lightweight TT. Michael Dunlop in second, number 6, last year's winner on the pattern, 120.566 miles per hour for Michael Dunlop. In third is number 9, Lee Johnston. He's 7.2 seconds down on Dunlop. In fourth is number 4, Stefano Benetti. He's 3.7 seconds down on Johnston, and then a further 3.9 back is in 5th place, number 7, and that is Gary Johnson, who's only just ahead of in 6th place, number 12, Paul Jordan, who's 0.676 of a second, and a great dice there between Dominic Herbertson and John Barton as they went through past us here on Glen Crutchley Road. And Dominic Herbertson getting ahead now of Johnny Barton, and Dominic Herbertson's in 9th position. So it's Michael Rutter in 7th, Peter Hickman in 8th, in 9th it's Dominic Herbertson, 10th is Horst Seiger, 11th is James Chalk, 12th is Davey Todd, but he's now retired, 13th is Ian Locker, and 14th of the ones through, of the 14 through, is Johnny Barton. And next across the line there was Rob Hodson at 113.5. But these are good speeds as well. The record, of course, from last year from Dunlop, 122.750 miles per hour, so a little bit off that, but it was from a standing start. Jamie Coward, 120.6, and Michael Dunlop, 120.5. Chris Boyd, an absolute thriller. We thought it was going to be close, but my word, 0.7 at the end of the opening lap.
Absolutely, and it's only a 2-lap race, of course. That they're getting good pit boards out there. Dunlop needs to respond, and he needs to respond now, because there just isn't the time to wait. He has to get right back on this, and Lee Johnston isn't out of this yet by any stretch whatsoever. He could be coming into the equation as well. He's only 7.2 off Dunlop, so only 8 off Jamie Coward in the race lead.
Another good battle just going past us lower down. Darren Cooper and Sean Anderson through, and there's Jim Hodson through at 111.21. But it's Coward ahead of Dunlop by 0.7. Let's go to Glen Helen.
Just in time as Michael Dunlop sweeps through here, keeps that throttle on and makes his climb up, and Stefano Benetti chasing him down. But Benetti, started in front of him, so Michael's caught and passed him on the road. And it is very, very tight there. 3/4 of a second, the difference between Jamie Coward and Michael Dunlop at the grandstand, and that's shaping up to be a mighty close race. Of course, the 2-lap sprint is, it's fast and furious while it happens. The next man in flicks it to the right, into the left-hander. Gary Johnson carries his feet very, very well, and very smooth line as well from Gary Johnson, just what he expects from his man of his experience. 9 and 8, 9 Lee Johnston, 8 Michael Rutter, and both through here on their second lap, and Lee Johnston at the moment up to Paul Jordan's having a good day at the grandstand. 6th place he was holding on to, and he pulled off quite a decent result this morning as well in the earlier race. Next man in, that is the number 10, Peter Hickman. A little bit off the pace for Peter this afternoon. 15 and 12 now both through. Jamie Coward it is. He leads Michael Dunlop, but the gap is less than half a second. Less than half a second, the gap between numbers 15 and number 6. Jamie Coward, though, has a slight advantage. He leads Michael Dunlop by 0.472 of a second, so we'll call it a half. That's near enough in modern money. In third place, number 9, Lee Johnston, and he is 13 seconds back on Michael Dunlop. And that is your top 3. Coward leads Dunlop from Johnston. In fourth place, number 4, Horst Seiger. Number 4, Stefano Bonetti. He's 2 seconds down on Johnston. And in fifth at the moment, it's Paul Jordan. But that may just change yet. Let's wait and see. 11 and 14 both come through. Horst Seiger and Ian Locker on the road together. Fantastic sight, but they're not threatening the top end of that leaderboard. And it is Stefano Bonetti in fourth with Paul Jordan at the moment in fifth, just pipped ahead of Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson was in fifth place at the grandstand, but Paul Jordan has reeled him in and caught him on corrected time. And Jordan is in fifth place, number 12. He is 6 seconds down on fourth place, Stefano Bonetti. And Gary Johnson nearly 2 seconds down on Paul Jordan. Michael Rutter holds station at 7th place. Number 8, Michael Rutter. He's just a second down on Gary Johnson. Peter Hickman holds station. He was 8th at the grandstand, and he's 8th here, but 10 seconds back on Rutter. Next man tips into the left-hander. That's number 18, James Chalk. And he's closely followed on the road by number 20, which is Dominic Herbertson. So Dom Herbertson just creeping up behind James Chalk on the road. May get a sight of him at the bottom end of Cronkavody as 17 comes through, Johnny Barton. Johnny Barton just being left behind a little bit by James Chalk now, and Barton is 13th quickest. He was 13th man through the grandstand as well. Next man we're expecting is number 22, Rob Hudson, and just behind him, number 25, Jonathan Perry. But it is Jamie Coward who leads, and we could do with maybe having a little flick over towards Ballaugh Bridge, just to keep an eye on the leaders as they sweep into Ballaugh on this second and final lap. Michael Dunlop and Stefano Bonetti both now through Ballaugh, as 22, Rob Hudson, does indeed come through here, just outside the top 10 for Rob Hudson, 13th fastest so far. And there's Jonathan Perry, number 25. Again, he's safely through on his second lap, and just drops in 14th place for Jonathan Perry, just ahead of 15th Johnny Barton. Michael Dunlop, Lee Johnston, Stefano Bonetti, Michael Rutter, and Gary Johnson all through Ballaugh now. The first 5 through Ballaugh, with Dunlop at the moment top of the heap. But the gap, interestingly, between Michael Dunlop and Lee Johnston was 13 seconds here at Glen Helen. At Ballaugh Bridge, it's now 17. So Michael Dunlop easing away from Lee Johnston, and that gap increasing. And I think it's the dice that Michael Dunlop and Jamie Coward are having at the top of the race that is just leaving the rest of the field behind them. Coward's through now, and the gap's down at Ballaugh Bridge on lap 2. Jamie Coward still leads the race, but it's only by a 1/10 of a second from Michael Dunlop. Just a 1/10 of a second in this, as the Jamie Coward in through Ballaugh Bridge, and the leader on the road now, Michael Dunlop, will be making his way in towards Roy Moore at Ramsey Hairpin, and we'll have to keep a close eye on that gap. Just 1/10 of a second separating the top 2 in this 2-lap race, and they're pulling away from third place Lee Johnston, who is now 17 seconds behind second place Michael Dunlop. Back to you at the grandstand.
Thank you. Yes, fastest at Sulby is Michael Dunlop, 159.4. Just the 2 retirements we've told you about them. John McGuinness, it was at Belig Bridge, and Davy Todd, as we saw in the pits. But it is Jamie Coward, but my word, Michael Dunlop is nipping away at his heels. 0.1 at Ballaugh Bridge. It was 0.4 at Glen Helen. Lee Johnston is getting number 6, who's looking for his 19th TT victory. Chris Boyd, bring you in at this point.
On the opening lap,
quick, isn't it?
It's 1/10 of a second in it. On the opening lap, Dunlop was quicker on the run from Ballaugh to Ramsey by 1.5 seconds. Can he replicate that? Can he get back into the race lead? 1/10 of a second. This is nail-biting stuff. Let's get... we can't wait for this. Come on, bring it to Ramsey.
And I'm glad to say they've got the timing rectified and sorted out at a crucial time. There's 1 minute 30 between Jamie Coward and Michael Dunlop on the start sheet. So once Michael Dunlop crosses the line here at the grandstand at the end of this flying second lap, it will mean that Jamie Coward has to get here within 1 minute 30 to beat Michael Dunlop and get his first race victory. Let's go straight to Ramsey Hairpin. Roy Moore.
Matty Cunningham, you are a star. We're back up and Michael Dunlop is here with us now, and just a fraction of a second down at Balaf. He's trying hard though. He must realise that it's very, very close indeed. Gets the backside over the left-hand side and then straight away gets it over to the right to get the power down as he goes away here from Ramsey Hairpin. It's Stefano Bonetti, number 4, who's next here. He was holding on to 4th place at Balaf Bridge, so no reason to doubt that he has a quick look over his shoulder to see who's there. So the battle between Jamie Coward, number 15, and Michael Dunlop fast approaching. Michael Dunlop safely through Ramsey. Stefano Bonetti 26 seconds down. It was only 2 seconds behind Lee Johnston though, so a Northwest win and a podium in the Isle of Man would be a nice combination as the second machine comes into view. That's it down tight to the inside. That's number 7. That's Gary Johnson safely through. But we're looking out and there's Lee Johnson and Michael Rutter. So your race leader, Jamie Coward, I don't think you'll have too much trouble there. Certainly Michael Rutter throwing the little machine round and getting it away from Ramsey Hairpin. But what is that timing beam down the road going to say? We have just on the thing, Lee Johnson currently lying in 2nd place, seconds down. Dunlop leads at the hairpin on lap number 2. Michael Dunlop by 1.431 seconds. Jamie Coward is here, and he's got past Peter Hickman. Certainly that is the case. And through he goes now, and there's Paul Jordan through as well. But it's Michael Dunlop by 1.431 of a second at Ramsey Hairpin. In 3rd place, Lee Johnston. He's 19 seconds down on Jamie Coward. We then have moving up into 4th place now from 6th at Balaf. 4th place for Paul Jordan, number 12, 4.2 down on Lee Johnston. In 5th place now, number 4, Stefano Bonetti, but he's only 1.5 seconds down on Paul Jordan. In 6th place, number 8, Michael Rutter, 5.5 seconds down on Stefano Bonetti. In 7th, number 7, Gary Johnson, he's only a second down on Michael Rutter. And then Peter Hickman, number 10, was in that lot that went through, but he's 8.5 seconds down on Gary Johnson, but still going. Going back to Balaf Bridge, after that you had to look out for Dominic Herbertson, who was up into 9th place there, chasing Peter Hickman, but he was 20 seconds down. But in 10th place there was 14 Horse Saiger, 7 seconds down. There's number 14 through Ramsey now. He's holding on to that 9th place. And there's number 11, Ian Locker. So but it's Michael Dunlop by 1.5 seconds, 1.431 to be absolutely precise, who leads this 2-lap lightweight race. Michael Dunlop from Balaf Bridge here to Ramsey picked up a second, just exactly as predicted by Chris Boyd up there in the tower. But it'll be a case now of having it over to see whether they've made that mountain climb, and certainly that will be the case, and interesting to see. Another machine coming into view now. I think that's James Chalk. Certainly is, or there's one behind him as well. That is number 14. That's horse side 18, James Chalk through. And Michael Dunlop has made the climb to the bungalow, so he is safely through as the board flicks up now to tell us that is the case. Number 6, Michael Dunlop. So we have that time bit to go, and certainly it would be worthy of hanging on for that to get through. John Barton holding on to 13th place, number 17. He's here at Ramsey now. He's 19 seconds down, though, on Ian Locker. Stefano Bonetti is through the bungalow. 31 seconds down on Michael Dunlop, but incidental really. But he's in that battle with Paul Jordan. Paul Jordan, where there's only 1.5 seconds in it for 4th and 5th place, with Michael Rutter really not out of it then. But he's got his battle on with Gary Johnson, because there's only 1 second between Johnson and Rutter in 6th and 7th place. Gary Johnson has made the mountain climb. Stefano Bonetti, Lee Johnston is up there at the bungalow as well, so he's safely through. That moves him up into 2nd place until the arrival of Jamie Coward, but 21 seconds down on Michael Dunlop. He's got a 10-second advantage though over 3rd place at the bungalow, Stefano Bonetti. Michael Rutter is only 1.5 seconds down on Bonetti at the bungalow though, and then it's Gary Johnson who's 5 seconds down on Michael Rutter. But the screen will be flicking over very, very shortly indeed when Jamie Coward makes that mountain climb, and he has, and Dunlop leads by 1.158 of a second at the bungalow on the second lap. It's still Michael Dunlop ahead. It was 1.431 at Ramsey Hairpin. It's 1.158 of a second at the bungalow. Michael Dunlop leads from Jamie Coward with Lee Johnson third, 19 seconds down on Jamie Coward, so it's a battle between those two. Second over Jamie Coward. Back to the grandstand.
What a race this is. Only 2 laps, but an absolute belter. Bennett's lightweight TT. And Michael Dunlop, well, he lost time, Chris Boyd, didn't he, on the first climb out of Ramsey Hairpin, and it seems like Coward's got it back again there.
Only marginally, he dropped 3.7 seconds on the climb of the mountain the first lap. This time, Coward's only taken 0.2 of a second out of that lead. Michael Dunlop is on close to lap record pace. He's only 1.9 seconds outside the lap record pace, bungalow to bungalow.
It is extraordinary. That lap record, 122.750, but the light is on for number 6. Long for racing here at the Isle of Man. TT races fueled by Monster Energy. Mountain Energy. Going to need that though today. 3 across the line together there, finishing. Fantastic stuff. Lee Johnston, Michael Rutter and Gary Johnson. We're just past the minute, 1 minute 5 seconds. And is Jamie Coward going to get a win? It's awaits 1:15, 1:16. It's up to 1:20, this unofficial, as he crosses the line. And, well, what are we going to have here? It is 1.2 that Coward is behind Dunlop. Dunlop takes the victory. 1.2 seconds is all that separates them. And Lee Johnston will be in third, down to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Tim. It's going to be a bit noisy here in the second. Yeah, Michael Dunlop just telling him that he's got the win. Lee Johnson third. Wow. Michael Dunlop gets a TT win for 2019 in the Bennett's lightweight race. Lee Johnson's here with his number 9 Ashcore bike confirmed in third. So your winner, Michael Dunlop, beating Jamie Coward by 1.299 seconds. And then Jamie Coward, in turn, at a 22.691 ahead of Lee Johnson. Michael's lap time, as you said, 122.75, 120.91 laps for Lee Johnson and 120.96 for Michael Rutter as well. And Jamie Coward on that last lap, 122.52. But Michael Dunlop going to take the RI lid off any moment now and gets a race win. And Michael, just shy of that record. But first off, many congratulations.
Yeah, I didn't think I was ever going to get in here again. It's been a hard week. It's been a very hard week for me. I think I've been struggling with lack of track time. My injury's not good either, and this bike I thought was going to be a lot easier on me. I could have done with the 4 laps to sink into it, but once again, the Patton guys have done everything that they want. You know, it's a hard, you know, people think, oh, it's just because it's a 650 race, it's not a big race. These boys are riding hard, you know what I mean, and it's thankfully here.
Do you know that Jamie was chasing you down? It was all over the place. You won by 1.2 at the end, but at Cronkdamona, it was only 3/4 of a second.
I lost the rear a couple of times, and I thought to myself, I'm definitely pushing hard, and I just said my injury struggled me the whole week, and it struggled me again in this because I have to get cramped in so much. So the boys done a fantastic job. The race was good, and just thankfully in here again. I thought the pressure was starting to kick in, and that just gives me something to sort of. I think I haven't lost it. I thought at one point we had lost it, but I think we're getting closer to it.
Good man. Nice to see you back in here. Cheers, Michael. Cheers. There you go, your race winner, Michael Dunlop with the Bennett's lightweights. Got a nice round of applause. And Jamie Coward, oh man.
Oh God, to work my knackers off again for that, and it was Patton again, same as Northwest 200.
Yeah.
But yeah, it were fantastic, you know. It were the bike and the KHS racing team has put an absolutely amazing package together for me, and yeah, I'm a bit disappointed, but I can't really be disappointed with his first podium. But I'd like to obviously win it, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
And a lap over 122 as well.
Oh, so that's the icing on the cake, is that, you know, it's to do that sort of space on these little things is unbelievable, to be honest.
First time in here, how does it feel?
Like I said, I'm a bit
rather be in the middle bit.
But I'd rather be in the middle, but yeah, I'm over the moon just for the boys. You know, they've worked their socks off over winter to get the bikes built and stuff, and to repay with this is the podium at Northwest and the podium here. It's I'm just really chuffed.
Well done, Jamie.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Well done. There you go. There's your first two, and we'll get a word with Lee Johnson, who's over here with the Ashcourt boys and family. That's important. Let him do that. His babies. Oh, daddy. There you go. We can have a hair off, and I think I'm still going to lose. Lee, congratulations on that. You were coming at one point. I thought you were going to catch Michael and also Jamie up.
Yeah, no discredit to Dunlop or anything. I don't know why sometimes you just get a dodgy tyre, and at the start it was rolling around everywhere. Jesse's trying to get the mic. It was almost as if it was cold, and it took me well into Ballacrane sort of direction before I even committed to go, and I was sort of thinking, oh, is it going to come? And then it did. It come real good, and obviously we haven't done a lot of laps on this bike, or any Super Twin for that matter, and it's just credit to Ryan and his whole team. You know what I mean? Probably if I rid one a bit more, the bike deserves to be in the number one spot, but no, all credit to him for firstly building the bike and then letting us run it in Ashcourt colours and Evan as well. So yeah, really happy.
Well done, Lee.
Thank you.
Well done, Jesse. Thanks. Cheers. Thanks, guys. There's your first three in the Bennett's lightweight. Tim.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris Kinley. Fourth was number 12, Paul Jordan. He was only 5.2 seconds down on Lee Johnston, but a great ride there from Paul Jordan, and a last lap of 121.248. But it is Michael Dunlop who gets his 19th TT victory. Michael Dunlop on the pattern. The last lap, 18 minutes 26.574, just a smidge outside the lap record at 122.746, just 1.299 seconds back. In second was number 15, Jamie Coward on a Kawasaki, 122.520 miles per hour on the last lap. And then Lee Johnston was 22.691 seconds away in third of the dueling duo at the front. Lee Johnston's last lap was 120.912. He finished 5.2 seconds ahead of Paul Jordan in fourth, number 12. His last lap, 121.248. Paul Jordan was 4.941 seconds ahead of, in fifth place, number 8, Michael Rutter. Rutter's last lap, 120.957 miles per hour. Sixth was number 4, Stefano Benetti on the pattern. He was 3 seconds down on Rutter. Seventh was number 7, Gary Johnson on the Kawasaki. He was 6.9 seconds down on Benetti. Eighth on the Norton, the leading Norton, in fact, the only finishing Norton was number 10 of Peter Hickman in eighth, 120.260 miles per hour on the Norton on the last lap. That's impressive. And he finished, let me see, in fact, 5.4 seconds down, but 33.992 seconds further back was in ninth, number 20, Dominic Herbertson on the Cowton Racing Kawasaki, 118.265 miles per hour on the last lap. In 10th position was number 14, Horst Seiger on the pattern, 117.385 miles per hour. He was 12.6 seconds down on Herbertson. 11th was number 18, good ride from James Chalk, 116.486 miles per hour on the last lap, and he was 13.689 seconds down on Chalk. 13th was number 17, rider liaison officer Johnny Barton on the Kawasaki, 114.803 on his last lap. He was 22 seconds down on Locker, who was in 12th position on the pattern. He's just come in there. 15th was number 26, Mikel de Koppel on the Kawasaki, 113.698 miles per hour, 6.3 seconds down. In fact, just going into 14th now is number 25, Jonathan Perry. Jonathan Perry, 3.9 down. So Michael de Koppel is in 15th position. 16th, number 34, Sean Anderson. 17th, number 32, Xavier Denis. 18th, number 26, Jim Hodson. 19th, number 40, Rob Whittle. And in 20th is number 27, Darren Cooper. Still, the checkered flag is out. Paul Potchy-Williams has finished. Maria Costello, a last lap there of 109.28. Dave Madston Migdal gets finish number 123. as he has just gone over the line, number 49, and just one more bike, I think a couple more bikes out there. Yeah, Dave Madston-Miggle, last lap 110.14. Number 37, Alan Venter, has finished 110.22. Number 39, Paul Potchy-Williams, has finished 108.51. Dave Moffat finishes last lap of 110.76. And our Japanese friend Yamanaka finishes too, last lap of 110.77. Number 46 has just crossed the line now, Miroslav Slobada, 108.05 was his last lap. So I can tell you that number 22, Rob Hodson, came off at Birkins Bend, but rider is reported as okay. So number 22, Rob Hodson, off at Birkins, but rider is okay. So I can see our podium trio are down below and getting ready to be lined up for the podium rostrum presentation.